Hi, GC News. Nima Obibia Akwawa. Had the latest and hot news in Enamide Bremo. I don't see so we now subscribe ya. Omodia say over subscribe now so beka a channel who Afriyie Yobeyan say over click the subscribe button now barely notification. Where the new video be upload when the first person I will say Ebeka ASABU Afriyie we are now like video no give us a thumbs up Afriyie share my offer for so now when you be here now and someone so I will Ghana Memohano. Afriyie here and someone abeto your so it here and so we are so.
Why do you go to the palace of the chief or to the grounds where the chief is in his hometown and ask him to rise to salute you? No. Only arrogant people do that. When the chief comes to the state house, which is the seat of the presidency, you are seated, he will come and greet you. But if you have wisdom, you will rise to greet him.
So the president got it wrong.
Oh, very wrong.
But he's a royal. He's supposed to know this.
No. I don't know about, are we only able to speak up when it is happening elsewhere, but not in our land? Because in Ghana, we wept more for George Floyd than for the 8 killed during elections. So really, there is something intrinsically wrong, not with the people. Because I have some people on a platform that I'm on who will say, oh, no, but the people are corrupt. And on one occasion, I nearly used the word stupid. I had to hold myself back. I said, that is why the people elect a leadership. And the leadership is 4 estates, as clearly stated by Montesquieu. You have the executive, that's the presidency. And ministers are part of the presidency. Ministers are not part of parliament. And then we have the legislature, that is parliament. They go to formulate laws and hold the presidency accountable. Then we have the judiciary. If God should ever go to sleep, judges will control the world. Not the wealthy, not the smart, not the intelligent. Judges. Because what judges applaud is what the society applauds. What judges frown on is what the society frowns on. And then we have the press, the media. That's you and I and all who are working as journalists, who are working as presenters, who are working as commentators and linguists. And I want to correct something here.
Right.
Mo kyei ewo radio ni TV so no. Montia say nyo bia o kasa radio ni TV so bia e no ye senchireni. Senchireni ye journalist. Senchireni no we sua amane ni amamre a ye de kohwehwe nsem mu edwen ho ehumu nokore etwere. Enti ebi ye nsentwerefo esan ye de wubofo. You know, some are just mere announcers. They are not journalists. So I hate it when, because of language, you put them all together. Ebi nsentwerefo. Ebi ye de wubofo. And ebi nso ye okofo. The okofo are the warriors. They are the ones who may be journalists, who may not be journalists, who may be linguists, or, you know, the gong beaters in the market. But they can take an issue and speak truth to power about it. So, mayam fan say, just say, wuntumin kano brofo and HSO Jimmy for, Davy. Wuntumin kano brofo we nyansa for. Oh, can you chia? Can you nyansem? Oh, kano brofo, can you nyansem? Oh, kana ona, can you nyansem? Oh, kana dagatia, can you nyansem? But because we make it look like Obiya and Century for Davy, many years ago in 1992 in the United States of America, for the Center for Journalists, we had a discussion about should journalists be licensed? And the overriding thought was that no, journalists must not be licensed. The reason being, if journalists are licensed, the powers that be, who may be corrupt, will ensure that they take the licenses away from the journalists who speak truth to power. In the same way as the Agyapadie document says, Ursula Owusu intentionally oversaw the stoppage and withdrawal of licenses of those stations who were not sympathetic to her party. That is the writing of the Agyapadie document. But let's look at the implementation. Is it true that that has happened in Ghana? Ghanaians, don't be outraged by the factual or fictitious writing. Be outraged by what has been implemented.
Galamsey, you come from a land that is, your homes are built
I come from
gold. That's what you say.
Exactly. That's what my son says. Now, one day, your little brother Kweku told me this. You know, in a conversation, I think a little exposition in Kensington, I was speaking to a few people, and usually when I was going out, I would take my kids with me because after I filed for divorce on 02/02/02, which is 2nd February 2002, I later went to court to get sole custody of my children. Well, I wanted shared custody because I think children need both parents, but the court gave me sole custody with some visitation by her mother. So when I would go out, I didn't want people looking after my children. I would go with them, unless it was impossible for me to go with them. In which case, my sister, Ikuya Adiza, would drive and come and pick them to hers, or my bigger sister, Abne Nchiwa, would drive and come and pick them to theirs. And when I told them, my mother taught me at a very young age, I think before I went to secondary school, that you are an adanse.
2.7.
Adanse for yamvumsika, adanse for yamprisika. Adanses are not greedy bastards chasing after money. Adanses do not do so because our land itself has houses and huts built on foundations of gold. So the gold is in our land. We do not crave it. We do not crave it. Or say adanse ye prin kwatintin, ye prin no kware, ye prin puntio, ye pray ye omama. Now omama is not about the car you drive. It's not about the houses you have. It's your ability to speak truth. Help the needy, not the greedy, and live with honor and dignity. So that's what it is.
Ebenezer Atta on Facebook says, I love this man. Lou Kosina says, very honest gentleman. Gulby Lord says, this man is deep. He's simply incomparable.
Incomparable.
Ebenezer,
you're still my student.
Ebenezer Atta, very well. Ebenezer Atta says, very well said. Comes back. Cornelius Nyona says, wisdom speaks. Patrick Deborah says, Isaac Iduse, come and listen.
No. You see, I don't like it when people in one party taunt another. Let us decide and accept that in every party, there are some flowers and there are some weeds too. We must all work to uproot the weeds without destroying the flowers.
92.7.
Right now, Mr. Sam Okujeto Ablakwa has risen to the state of national treasure.
Right.
There was a point when Mr. Kyei Mensah-Bonsu looked like he had risen to the state of national treasure until the moment when the president, appointing some 120 ministers, also gave him a minister of parliamentary affairs, and in his wisdom could not say, Adabraka, President, this is unacceptable. So the tag which people wanted to give to him dropped. So people may do wrong sometime in their lives. But day by day, night by night, as we grow older, we don't necessarily grow wiser. But if we can't grow wiser, at least we must let our experience bestow common sense on us and realize that all of us will be judged by posterity.
Rhoda says, very eloquent in the Queen's language. Ebenezer Atta says King KKD.
And my chief's language.
Right.
That's more important.
I see.
It is for me the epitome of stupidity if I can speak the Queen's language so well, but cannot speak mine. And that is why I said recently on television, Inchi, Emre yeninkaso. Na ohine kasi ya yabone chanzo e mo ntakrabo enyi ni triso na owie. If you saw ya pa. the chief or the king, who is called great, who does not listen to wisdom, nor common sense, nor truth, eats the vulture. Because he's arrogant, he listens to no one.
Jonas says, Johnny, I always love to hear from KKD. He's a great man and always on top of issues. 2 more maybe, and then we will go. Kofi Jan Ansu says, the finest talking now. Man is full of sense and he has a good package. Kudos to him. Nanopoku says, I never knew KKD is a man full of wisdom. His wisdom is beyond imagination. Claire S. Era says, you are intelligent, Nana. Those in Kumasi are all... Okay, that's noise makers.
No, please. Please. I need one person who is attacking me as well, because praise to the face is open disgrace.
Unfortunately, there's not one here. So, unfortunately, not one here that I can find immediately. Maybe later. I don't know.
But only add a quick,
very,
very quick one. And I've been listening intently.
Helen of Hatzel.
Because you talked about, you mentioned Professor Jampo. There's something he said on one of our platforms a couple of weeks ago.
He's one of our intelligent linguists in this country. When you go to America, you'll find Noam Chomsky.
Right.
Noam Chomsky is one of the most intelligent linguists in the world. And what I have learned is that wherever you are, in whatever corner you are, whatever you do for a living, seek the people who are greater than you in your field of endeavor and learn from them. So one day, you too may be as great as them, or maybe even greater. So I make it a point to go around the world to find the great linguists and learn from them.
That's amazing.
And I really admire Professor Jampo. He's my younger brother, and I love him to bits.
He had made a comment really
bits.
recently. He said that we have this, in terms of our governance style here in Ghana, it's a winner takes all approach, but also a winner knows all. What do you think is accounting for this lack of collaboration? And because, I belong to Party A or Party B, I simply cannot collaborate with my political opponent. How do we even cross that hurdle so we get the best bang for our buck?
Professor Jampo speaks as a professor, and that's one of the reasons why I hate it when people who have not earned a doctorate are called doctor and herbalists are called doctor. We need to ensure that nomenclature counts for something so that we do not call spoons small ladles. A spoon is a spoon, it's not a small ladle. And we do not call rakes big forks. He has actually posed a question in that statement. Winner takes all, winner knows all. I don't know it all. No. The reason I know I don't know it all is that everything I know, I was taught. There is nothing that I personally created in the world of knowledge. And when people elevate you into a position of authority, and because of that, you immediately think you know it all, you have already failed. Because if your bucket is already full and you've put a lid on top of it, how are you going to get fresh water into it? Now, the sad truth is, your bucket is not full. But even if it were full and you put a lid on top of it, after a while, the water will stink.
That's right.
So you need to be open to let fresh water pour into your bucket. So some of the old water will flow out. So impenyumfo kase mu no. Ochiame be kase. Papa yi wenyi eja niam bi. Ne nkwala bi da ho weni yem. Nanso neni atra neni nton. That is to say, this man has grown, but he has not advanced in certain things. His infantile poo is still in his belly, yet he has let his eyeballs go above his eyebrows. Those are the people we have. For let me give you an example. Why would one person's brain fart? My dear brother, kwesi, it was a brain fart he had. And once in a while, everybody gets a brain fart. It can end up in slurred speech, or it can end up in a Freudian slip, or it can end up in a statement of utter poppycock. And wise men have brain farts too. But the truth is, brain farts are the preserve of stupid people. And this man just said, we're going to stop having the, what's it called?
Road tolls.
Why? Why wasn't it first discussed in Parliament? So, one person's brain fart overrode the Parliament of Ghana.
And even Cabinet's decision.
Cabinet is presidency.
Right.
Once you become a minister, you're one of the surrogates of the president. So even if you're a member of parliament, once you become a minister, you become one of the minions of the president, because then you're working as part of the executive.
That's correct.
See, these things are not wisdom. These things are knowledge. If you don't learn it, you will not know. There is wisdom and there is knowledge. What opinion Kojo Kyeremanteng has is wisdom. What your lecturer at your university has is knowledge. But some of your lecturers also have wisdom. So let us seek both.
92.7.
Truth is the ultimate power. If I make you my president for 4 years, you are not my chief for life. Why do you go to the palace of the chief or to the grounds where the chief is in his hometown and ask him to rise to salute you? No. Only arrogant people do that. When the chief comes to the state house, which is the seat of the presidency, you are seated, he will come and greet you. But if you have wisdom, you will rise to greet him.
So the president got it wrong.
Oh, very wrong.
But he's a royal. He's supposed to know this.
No. I don't know about
His
royalty, but my point is, if he is a royal, then he should have been called to order by maybe even the Kwaku of his village, not the chief himself. There will be a sabita fracture. Why? Did you ever see Kufuor, President Kufuor, who is the man who managed to bring the elements of the UP tradition into government in Ghana? Summon a chief to rise and greet him. Did you ever see President Atta Mills summon a chief to rise and greet him? Did you ever see President John Dramani Mahama summon a chief to rise and greet him? Did you ever see Boakye Agyarko, even in his military rule, summon a chief to rise and greet him? Or FWK Akufo, summon a chief to rise and greet him? Our presidency has fallen to its lowest level of dignity. People look at this presidency with total disregard. There is a serious lack of dignity around the office of the presidency. It should be washed with Izal and hung out to dry for 2 weeks before another person takes over. It is a shame, damn shame. And if you have a council of state that cannot speak on it, a council of state that is paid and given pay and perks, but whose advice the president is not obliged to take, and that is what is in the constitution.
That's correct.
Why do you set up a specific vehicle whose purpose is you may speak, but we won't take it, and pay them money? And we say we have elders. Many of our elders were not wise. The young are beginning to notice.
We're still talking about Ghana today. A lot has been said, KKD, about the size of government, the bloated numbers. If you just, in fact, just
why do you because your question is loaded. You said bloated numbers.
Yes.
So you accept it's bloated.
Yes.
You think it's bloated.
I think a lot of people also accept
Does size matter?
What a question.
Does size matter?
Yes.
size matters because if you look at, let me use fufu pounding, because my mother ran a restaurant for some 39 to 40 years. Right. She's a retiree now. She's 84. Dad is 86. Dad ran farms. He ran a lotto enterprise. He ran a distributorship. He ran a hotel. He owned estates. And he just personally invested in people. Like I was saying just recently, he's 86 now, and just last week he called a young man and just interviewed him at home and says, so what are you doing at the moment? The guy says, well, there isn't much work to do, and he does not want to participate in galamsey. And he says, so what do you want to do? The guy says, well, I want to have a small pragia to use for work because I can cart people's goods from the farm and all that. So he gave the young man 19,500 Ghana cedis. Okay. He says that is to buy the pragia, and then this 500 cedis is to go and register it in your name, and use it to look after yourself and your children. Oh, that's this is kind of him. This is how life should be. To whom much is given, much is expected. My children, because of where we lived in England, in Kensington, would be stopped on the way to school from time to time and asked by some of our light-skinned European neighbors, is your father rich? You guys look very rich. So one day, my daughter, Ohima, asked, Dad, why do people ask us that question? And I said, well, in life generally, whatever is seen on the outside is the conviction on the inside. It is the way you carry yourselves. So people assume that all your needs and wants are gratified. But we are not rich. The next time anybody asks you that, tell them my daddy says we are comfortable. Comfortable. Because you can be wealthy and not comfortable. And you can be needy, yet comfortable. I personally know somebody who used to live around Choco, who used to come and visit me when I was at GBC. They lived in a one-bedroom home with a living room where he and his 4 brothers and sisters and 6 cousins all slept in that living room. And they have all done well in life. One is an auditor now. One is in America now in hospitality management. One is in Germany now. You know, and they have all done well. So this whole thing about how we look at people in Ghana today, it's comical.
You wait for the cows, just news so and our head on. So we now subscribe or more say over subscribe. Now one like it, now feel so, what share video, ama of so now what there. Also bet me a chair what you have and so we now I will comment box over to in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.